Lisa from BLACKPINK is highly superstitious and I think really into the supernatural. I think she's also a gossip as well. I think she lacks that ability to think before she speaks as well as act. We have here a clear mark of the tiger. The headline is completely separate from the lifeline. She has increased confidence, a great sense of independence about her, but a reduced sense of self-worth with a very short Jupiter finger, which means that while she has a reduced ego, she has great confidence. So she's compensating for this by the need to excel, by the need to achieve and succeed. In Lisa's life, her hand shows that she will have three great love interests throughout her destiny. Good hello, thanks for joining. I am Pisces Palmist, the online palmistry reader. Now, this week I am going to be reading the hands of Lisa from BLACKPINK, and I'm going to be revealing her character traits, some unique, specific kind of qualities, skills, personality quirks, and all that we can really see from her hand. Now, I'm going to really dig and see what we can discover about her destiny, but for the most part, this will be something more of a character analysis reading. Why do I say that? I'm finding it really hard to get a read on her fate line. We have this image here, which is great because the hand is kind of cupped a little bit, which means that we get a better read on the heart line. This is a highly idealistic person. She's not going to get into a relationship with someone because they have a lot of money or status. She's going to find someone who fits with her ideology, with her core principles, someone who she can fall in love with. Doesn't matter how much money they've got. To her, it's all about connection. But her fate is a really hard read because her fate line, it comes from the lifeline itself, which is someone who always has a career that is highly physically demanding, but really requires the body, which really makes a lot of sense. She is an energetic hand. Energetic hands are always pioneers, explorers. They are racing car drivers. They are travelers, quite literally explorers. They will travel, the jungle. They are astronauts. They are those among us who are not afraid to throw themselves headlong into a situation and just really revel in those experiences. And this really sums up Lisa's character. Her tremendous sense of timing ability, seen on the back of the thumb here, is second to none. And I cannot stress this enough. Being an energetic hand, being someone who is just so able to put themselves out there, really utilize their physical attributes, make a mark on the world, really utilizing their physicality, she would make an exceptional driver. And I think she would probably um, maybe even put a professional driver to shame. I also think she would make an exceptional drummer. I think there are a great many things that she could do, in particular when it comes to timing and really utilizing her body. Probably also got great skills with, actually physically using her hands, really making things from scratch. She's kind of one of those jack of all trades, but she is actually a master of several. Um, Her headline is quite curious because yes, it has this mark of the tiger thing going on here, which really increases confidence, increases independence, but it also makes her very impatient. It makes her brash. It makes her leap before she thinks, and it also makes her speak before she thinks. This can get her into trouble. She also has three of the hallmarks, signs of a bad gambler. She is a bad gambler, in not just in terms of not necessarily of finance, but in terms of her love life, potentially, in terms of the decisions she makes in the moment. And often that's just out of impatience because she wants to see a result. She just wants the job done. So she's just going to throw all of her eggs into the wrong basket at times. Now, those three signs are the short Jupiter finger, the long Apollo finger, as well as what we've already seen, which is this mark of the tiger, a significant gap between the mind and the life's energies. There is a disconnect between what is going on in her mind and her environment, the way in which she lives her life. This also makes her a radical thinker, a nonconformist. Her approach to actually just life in general and the way she perceives the world, her mental approach, problem solving, is highly unorthodox. She does have a very balanced point of view when it comes to her perception of the world. She's very open-minded. She's very generous. She's very giving. There is a sense of, the fact that the headline is long enough to reach right over into lunar, quite an active lunar mount as well. Look at the color. It means that she's highly in connection with her abstract, with her imagination, but it's straight enough to also be quite rational and logical. So there's a real balanced approach here to her problem solving and just her approach to life in general. Energetic hands need the answers now. This kind of characteristic about her, this explorative energetic character trait is enhanced by this mark of the tiger as well. I think from the moment she was born, she's almost kind of just raced through life to see what it can give her, what it can provide. The experiences that lie in wait are just there to be had. She's not going to wait around. This reduced feeling of self-worth, this low self-esteem is quite a complex one because it's kind of exacerbated this need to do more to achieve because she's compensating her intense need to succeed and get ahead um, is compensatory for this inadequacy, this feeling of low self-worth. Now, it's interesting because she has a great sense of confidence about her. The Mercury finger is long enough. I'd like it to be a little bit thicker, a little bit wider, the Mercury finger, but the mark of the tiger always creates confidence, always creates independent thinking. It means that while she's confident, she has a reduced sense of self-worth. And this it exacerbates alongside her hand shape as well, this intense need to succeed. The heart line is really interesting because in this image here, we get a really good read on it because of the nature of it, sort of providing us with a greater read, the cupped nature of the hand. It rises right up onto the Jupiter mount itself. She's highly idealistic. Now, in terms of relationships, again, there is something of a danger here to throw herself in, to give too much of herself too quickly. She is highly idealistic. It means her expectations are a little bit too high. These expectations that she has in herself that actually produce some of these feelings of low self-worth she has in others. And this can spark that ingredient, that key ingredient for disaster in relationships if she's not careful, if she's not cautious enough. My overall advice here is to err on the side of caution in all manners of life when it comes to decision making in career, with life choices in relationships, and with finances. I have to say, I'm finding it really difficult to get a read on her destiny, her fate here. And I can't help but feel like she's not feeling satisfied by the work that she's doing. There's a feeling of a lack of purpose and satisfaction over the work she's doing at this time. I can see that at the age of 26 there was a significant change here, and perhaps even moving. Maybe she moved here. Her environment absolutely changed. Her whole life changed. And if you look really closely, you can see here on the lifeline, this is at the age of, I would say, 18. It, it, this is a powerful indicator towards fame at this time. Look at it shooting towards Apollo. You can even see it kind of connect up here. It's indicating the real strength of reputation, growth in advancement in an area that has to do with having an audience. But what I would expect to see is, in fact, a fate line that rises from Jupiter itself in some way. Her destiny is incredibly mysterious because the left hand, her thoughts about her journey in life are kind of equally as mysterious as the materialized destiny, which I don't really see much of. And it shows me that she is in a time of absolute change. This particular image is probably the most recent, the best one I have of Lisa's hand. Unfortunately, I don't have a good read on the right, but her thoughts and feelings I do have, and this is fairly up to date. This is 2023, this image was taken. And really what this is showing me is that she even just 2 years ago, was really kind of reevaluating her life, and she's in a time of great change. This is the age of 28 on her fate line before it meets the headline. And you can see it quite literally just kind of trailing off. And in its place, in its stead, we see something of a success line. And again, that kind of just sort of there's a kind of V-like formation here. So it's indicating that her success is directly linked towards this newfound kind of feeling of a change in of direction in her career somewhere around now in her life. I can't quite understand this. It's possible there are some health concerns here. Maybe these are hereditary. Maybe there's things going on in the background, and there's reasons as to why she might well soon, in fact, in her life, make big changes to her career, to her role in life. She might well not, in fact, continue in Blackpink all that long. I think in the near future, there may well be big changes here. She may well actually stop. I do think that she will be a legend. I don't think that her time is done in the limelight. But I do think there's something of a significant need to step back for whatever reason to make a big change. This could be over health concerns. I'm not entirely certain. I find her very, very mysterious in terms of her destiny. But what is certain is that she is very much able to carve her own destiny. She doesn't have her fate in her stars, it seems. There's a great deal that she can, um, in terms of her purpose, her path in life. She really can carve her own destiny in this way. Now, there will be three great loves in her life. This much I can say about her destiny. And one of those is certainly a puppy love, and I think this is already kind of um, I think this is kind of been and gone, or it's in the makings of being and going. Don't know. I don't feel this is all that significant. I mean, it is certainly significant in her life. It impacts her in a way. It shapes her emotional framework. It actually provides her with a strong frame of reference for her future romantic relationships. It absolutely affects her strongly, powerfully. But the one, so to speak, the one true love in her life will be at the age of, I believe, maybe about 32. I'm going to say 32. That's my prediction for Lisa. That at 32 she will meet probably the most impactive, the love of her life, so to speak. And there is apparently, it seems, a third person on the cards as well, but not until much later on in her life. And by the time she reaches this age, this whole part of her hand will completely have changed by then anyway. So that's my kind of love prediction. I do feel very strongly that her most compatible person will have a square palm and short fingers. They will be rooted in the secure, the practical, the routine, the structure, order. They will be rooted in the earth. They will have a great love for and of nature. And I think they will, that kind of aspect about themselves will really enhance. Um, Lisa's explorative, energetic feelings, a love of exploration and travel. Now, the biggest question that might be on your mind, particularly when looking at this lifeline here, is well, it stopped dead, it seems. It seems to just go nowhere. Well, what's the idea there? This is because the fate line takes over in its place. This is not all that uncommon and is very commonly misinterpreted as a short lifeline. This is not necessarily the case. It is always seen in the hands of those who have dramatic life changing circumstances at the time of which the overlap occurs. And that's what we're seeing here. The fate line overlaps, it takes its place, it safeguards the person's longevity essentially. So that's what we're seeing here, and I do predict, because I can't predict all that much from her hands. I do predict, however, that at the age of 36, there's going to be dramatic change to her life. And I think in many ways this change has yet to be fully understood because she has such great access to that change ahead of her. She can carve her own destiny when many of us cannot do this. So I think there is a great amount ahead of Lisa that she has access to change. Our future, in many ways, is not yet written in the stars. Let me know what your thoughts are on this palm reading. Let me know who you would like me to read the hands of next Sunday from Blackpink. For the next 3 weeks, I will be reading the last or the other three members of Blackpink on this channel. Please do subscribe. Please do consider becoming a member. And thank you all so much for watching. And I will see you on the next one.